was born in Greece, and my father was Greek American, and my mother's Danish. And then we lived on a small island called Mykonos. Anyway, my father passed away when I was very young, and we moved back to Denmark when I was about 3.5 or 4 years old, something like that. And then when I was 15 years old, no, I was 14 years old, I got into a street fight, or more or less, this guy decided to have a street fight with me, and he just beat the crap out of me. And I thought honestly, I'd never been so afraid in my whole life. So, being the faithful watcher of movies, I enjoyed the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off thing, and decided that if I gotta get strong, I gotta do karate. That's what it worked for Ralph Macchio. It's gotta work for me too. At the time, I didn't know that there are different styles of karate. There's so many variations. You just have like, I had like basically two images of what karate was. You wear the white uniform. You got the us. Got the respect and everything. And it was almost as if it, had been calling for me. Had been waiting for me to come. So when I joined the gym, yeah, the dojo, of course, it was just like it felt right. It just changed my whole life. And I just turned 15 when I entered the gym. Then one day, a senpai of mine looked at me and says, "You're training like a maniac. You're always here. What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just enjoying it. I'm trying to, become something better. And he goes, "Well, they got these things called uchideshi in Japan, and that means uchi means a house, and a deshi is a student, so it's like a dormitory kind of student, like a living student thing." And it's like, "Oh, wow, well, what do they do?" And it's like, "Well, they train with Oyama Masatatsu, the Sosai, the creator, the founder of this karate style that I've been training. He's a legend in himself. He used to fight against bulls and stuff like that to prove himself and his karate. And this is all back in the 40s, of course. So I thought he was long gone. You don't really get this kind of information on a daily basis training. So I said to him, "Hold on a minute. You're telling me this guy's still alive?" And I was like, "Yeah, you didn't know? He's got the headquarters, the Hombu Dojo in Tokyo. He's got all these students that just live there and train all day." I went home to my mom that night. I went home and I told my mom. I said, "Look, I think I'm gonna go to Japan and stay in the dojo and train for 3 years." And I was lucky because when she was young, she was always traveling around the world. She'd been living in France and in Germany, doing a lot of translating jobs and stuff like that. So she was quite supportive of the idea of me, going abroad and chasing my dreams as long. And then I made my way to Japan. I just turned 18 years old, and that's how I got here. You probably have an idea of how strict the sumo world is.
Yeah.
So in the sumo world, it's the system is just so like extreme. Well, I did the karate version of that basically. We did a 3-year course, so you have to live at the dojo and devote all your time at the dojo.
Which means what? Americans don't know what that means. It means you had to wash your senpai's clothes.
Yep.
You had to make food for the house.
Okay, let me tell you some of the first year rules, because it gets better once you get up in the second and third year. It gets better once you become a black belt. It was basically the Karate Kid, but the real thing, not the waxing on the cars, because there were no cars, but there was the waxing of the floors, there was sweeping of the dojo, there was taking care of everything and cleaning everything. The senpai would come out with a sweaty dogi, go and chuck it at you like that, and go wash my dogi. Being a first year student, you can't use the washing machine, so we had to wash everything by hand. Food, it's all Japanese food, of course, raw eggs, rice, soup, some, now I like them, but at the time, extremely nasty beans. If you don't, they're actually rotten and slimy, and if you don't know the taste of them and you haven't gotten used to them, even a lot of Japanese people don't like them, but this is what we got for breakfast, for example. The first time I saw that breakfast, I thought, okay, I know I came here for karate and everything, but this is a little bit different from what I'd expected. The karate trainings, when I got to Japan, I was 72 kilos, which quickly went down to under 70 kilos because the change of food and the extremity of the training and everything. And in the beginning, when you go to spar with the black belts and stuff like that, they had just no mercy. It's like, seriously, people standing like this and beating you up against the wall, and then when you're on the ground, they'd be stomping on you, and you'd be doing everything just to protect yourself. when these black belts come in, you know, you think, oh my god, and you see who's coming. You go, oh my god, not this guy. No, not that guy. And this carried on for the first year. I got stubborn. That's the right word to use. I got stubborn. I said, I got to go to the class where these guys come. I got to go up against these guys. I don't care how scared I am because this is what I got to overcome. And these guys aren't even the champions in Japan, you know. And if I can't beat these guys, I can never be anything inside here, you know. That's basically where I started, and that's the culture shock, you know. But even a culture shock is so extreme because it's a world within another world, which doesn't have any outside influence. They make their own rules in there. Black belt means you got to say whatever you want. You get to do whatever you want. And a non-black belt, foreign guy that doesn't even speak the language, there's no shortcuts there.
Tell me about the transition from karate to K1. What are the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, in karate, you can't punch to the face, and of course, it's bare knuckle karate. It's full contact, so that means you can hit as hard to the body as you want. You can kick to the head. So the difference is that you're wearing boxing gloves or not wearing boxing gloves, and you can hit to the face. And in karate, in the 15 or 16 years of karate that I've ever done, I can remember the times I've been kicked in the head. In boxing, the first thing someone does to you, he jabs you, right? And as a karate personality, or as a karate fighter, someone that touches your face is like touching your pride, sort of thing, So that was the main thing that I really, really had to overcome. It was the feeling of saying, well, it's okay to take a shot in the head if you're able to, utilize it or whatever, But at the time, it was just like, this guy just hit me in the face.
Breaking your leg, people weren't really feeling you could come back as strong as you have.
Well, 3 years pass, and I haven't fought because of political problems. I'm trying to get a fight. I'm in shape. I've been training for it. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. Nothing comes along, and then 3 years pass at this time. And people are going, well, can he really come back? Some guys are going, this guy's afraid. He can't do it. He can't do this and that. And said, well, okay, we'll come to my gym. We'll spar. I'll tell you. I'll show you how ready I am. I really wanted to come back. I was lucky that I got an opportunity to fight in Europe through a sensei that I've been training with for several times, and he put me on the show over there. So I finally got the fight, and I trained for it, and I won basically. It was a second round TKO, and there's nothing to be said about that. I think now that I have enough power, and I have enough speed to have a good stable concept and good stable base for my fighting, and what I try to do is I try to utilize as much of that as possible, because you see a lot of guys out there, they have too much power, or they have too much speed, or they have too much this, too much that, and they never really get to utilize it. I think if you utilize, as close to 100% as you can, you really are able to create something.
Oh, hi.